Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. Thanks to one of my viewers for sharing a few articles with me as it relates to Democrats chasing after black votes. Now, before I get into this, I wanted to make mention of something really quickly. We are in the middle of June, or should I say towards the end of June. And earlier today, it was kind of chilly. But again, it's oddly cool out here. I feel like I need a jacket or a sweater on right about now. Very strange weather we are having right now, and we are approaching July, the month of July. But it's kind of cool right now. You can kind of see it in the air, but I can feel it. But I'm not out here to talk about the weather. I'm talking about the fact that it appears as though a lot of Democrats are going after, or should I say chasing after, black votes, as my viewer put it in their email. Chasing after black votes. And it seems that way because one thing that I'm noticing here, I'm noticing that there are a lot of people trying to show support for reparations. Now, if you were to really dive into their minds, do they really support reparations for our people? Or is this just a talking point for them to cause us to listen and say, he might be a good choice for us? They're showing up at fish fries. One of the fish fries, it was kind of funny, but the article talked about how there were more than 4,000 pounds of fish and thousands of slices of bread. It kind of reminded me of how Yahusha, the one who the world calls Jesus, how he had the fish and the 5 loaves and he fed the multitude, right? That's what it kind of reminded me of. But anyway, you have these Democrats showing up at fish fries, Black Lives Matters events, and making promises and saying, well, we should do this, we should make that change, we should do this and we should do that. Pretending to be in support of reparations. I don't believe that any of them have any intentions of doing anything for black people, but what they are doing is they are saying, look, these are the type of people who for decades, decade after decade, you can make a promise and they will believe you and you will get their support. Look at Donald Trump. He's a Republican. But he did the same thing. He made a lot of promises to some of these ignorant black pastors who to this day still support him and pray for him and say that he's God's man for this hour. It's funny to me. They still support him despite all the things that he hasn't done and all of the things that he said in direct opposition to so-called black people. He still has a ton of black supporters, especially those in the ranks of Christians. And so now you have all of these Democrats who are saying all of the right things because they look at us as people. I did a video years ago, and I asked the question, are black people stupid? I asked that question because there was someone else who put that question out there because they said that we are... there was another video where someone said that they referenced black people as, I can't remember exactly, family, so I'm not going to quote it at this point, but basically they look very low on us. They look down on us as if we are just hopeless individuals. And, Simpleminded Darkies, that's what they called us. Just so ignorant. And called us Simpleminded Darkies, right? And so this shows you how these people think of us. They think that we're simple-minded. And so they're like, okay, we can chase the black vote. All you have to do is make some promises and they're going to believe you like clockwork. They're so simple-minded that all you have to do is say this or say that. It's going to be like music to their ears. You never have to follow up with anything. All you have to do is make the promise and have a sincere look on your face when you do it, and they will just bow and kowtow to you from now until kingdom come. Even when you're in the last week of your term and still haven't done a thing for them, they're still going to be in support of you and say, oh, Clinton he was one of the best presidents we ever had. That's how they think of us. We've got to break that narrative. Now, I know that those that listen to my channel are far past that. But it's unfortunate that a lot of Christian leaders, black Christian leaders, are the ones that are doing all this bending and kowtowing to people who have made these promises time and time again. If they didn't keep their treaties with the Native Americans, what make you think they're going to keep spoken promises to us? That's why they do this, because they see it works. All they have to do is make a promise. They could have a KKK hood on their head if some of these simple-minded black preachers and leaders will still believe them and convince their congregants to do the same thing. But we've got to start thinking outside of that Christian box and saying, look, if you want to support this man, more power to you. Go for the gusto. But don't expect me to do it. If you want to support this woman, you do it. But don't expect us to do it. First of all, in my opinion, and everyone has different opinions on this, I think on a local level, voting is a good idea. When you're voting on local officials, people that directly affect your community. But on a national level, I just don't see how voting for the lesser of two evils is a good idea. Trump nor Hillary Clinton was worth casting a vote. I wouldn't want to put my name or endorsement behind something like that. Like I said, everyone has their own opinions on that, but that is my opinion. Take it or leave it. But I think we need to be more aware of how people come after us. It's even with the same thing with the liquid money thing. They all look at us like we're liquid money. And this is why they have their markets. They target us as a market for so many things, because they look at us like we are a joke. And that's what the Democrats are doing right now. They're saying we're going to go after the simple-minded vote because all we have to do is say a few things that they want to hear. We never have to do any of it. All we have to do is make the promise, put a smile on our face, and pat a couple of them on their backs when we go to their little get-togethers and their groups and their rallies. They'll rally their people behind us, and we never have to look in their direction again once we're in office. That's the game, family. That's how it's played. Let's stop falling for the tricks, okay? Don't fall for the tricks. They're not going to do anything for you. They haven't done anything in over 400 years. What makes you think that this is the time and the day and the season that they're going to change? All they want is your vote. And I'm going to say Democrats and Republicans. I don't see this as one-sided, because the Republicans, they go after the black vote too. But what I find tripped out about Donald Trump is, while he was going after the black vote during his campaign, he was also showing his racist colors as well. He was showing, look, I don't want to have nothing to do with these people. I don't want to rent to them. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take out a full-page ad asking for the execution of 5 innocent young men. While at the same time, I can still go after the black vote. Of course, I know that was way back then that he did that. But when the subject was coming up again, he still felt like they were guilty, the Central Park 5. Even though evidence cleared them, Trump said, I still think they're guilty. So, understand who we're dealing with. Let's stop falling for the okie doke. Think for ourselves. And stop letting these people plant thoughts into our minds. Their track record is already established. The precedents have already been set. They're not going to do a thing for so-called black people. So don't allow them to sucker you into a vote, because they're chasing you down with false promises and hopes. Okay? All right, family, with that, I will say shalom.